Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I'm having nightmares right now.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses, big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Dead bath to Leon. Nothing says football like scented soap.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, Big Sirs may have the scented soap out today because he's out. Okay, so we don't know what he's doing with scented soap or anything like that. But he does have the day off. Me and Maddie ready to rock and roll. JJ and company all locked in with a little XL Primetime. Kind of fill up your Friday afternoon, a Florida Home AC Friday, and you can come with some cool rock and roll suggestions, and we need cool, okay? Because 90s is just slapping us right in the face. But that's what it is. I don't mind the sunshine. I tell you guys all the time, I'd rather have the heat than the cold, so bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Now, last night, well, heat from the Indiana Pacers. The crowd was tremendous. Indiana, despite not knowing just how good Tyrese Halliburton would be health-wise, he was able to contribute. And the fourth quarter didn't matter. Did you imagine going into last night's game, an NBA Finals game where the fourth quarter wouldn't matter? And I know we've seen it before when teams say, you know what, shut it down, preserve, we're going to try and win that next game at home, which is basically what Oklahoma City did. But anyway,
Right.
A decent amount of shock with a less than 100% Tyrese Halliburton and Indiana winning that game last night. A decent amount of shock.
Yeah, it's funny. I just said to JJ right before we came on the air, this series, because it lacks the star power, it kind of reminds me of like a conference quarterfinal or semifinal series. Like it's not like I can't get juice for it. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I just can't.
I really do. I think it's your anti-NBA.
No, it's not, because I'm not the only one. The ratings are terrible for it.
Well, yeah, because of that. I don't even know how to explain it. Those are the teams that got there.
Right.
So why can't you appreciate them?
I do appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
Like you said, you just kind of say, you know what, I'm watching something that doesn't feel like the finals. And I kind of get what you're saying a little bit, but it's still those are the teams. And Indiana
I kind of
so far
feel
has denied every expectation I think that we've had of them.
I kind of feel like that the NBA was desperate for like the Grizzlies to get there. Or not the Grizzlies, the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
There's like right now, you could almost feel like there's a little bit of this league where there's not like this dynamic personality anymore. You know what I mean?
Well,
like Ant would have been that. Had Ant got to the finals,
yeah, but
you could have seen something like that.
Yeah, but how about this? Just the simple fact that SGA is not a dynamic personality and kind of got worked, even though he's the league's MVP. He's more and more of a face of the MVP, or excuse me, a face of the NBA as an MVP. And then Tyrese Halliburton was not necessarily a household name as these playoffs got going, and he's become more and more of one. Heck, he has more, I'm not going to call it star power. I don't think that's the right way to say it, but he definitely has people are more aware of him right now than they are of SGA.
Not star power.
Right
it's
or
like
wrong.
it's like the dynamic personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a guy that everybody wants to watch, everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see what he's going to do next.
But it's just so funny.
I mean, SGA is a great player. I don't. He's not like that though.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not.
No. He is. All right. He is. He's
I mean, even Joker kind of was on the verge of that. Like, had they gotten back somehow, yeah, it would have been like, okay, here we go. Now Joker's won 3 MVPs. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah, but SGA is closer to Tim Duncan, personality.
Oh yeah, 100%
than any of these
100%.
other guys. And even though the Joker's not Mr. Dynamic, he's just so imposing and he can do so much that he makes you want to watch. And he's the classic dad bod big man is what he is. And so anyway, I don't know how to.
I feel like
people
the league needs
That's
like.
all they ever do.
I'm not panning. I just feel like the league needs like this central figure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the guys of the past are getting older, or their teams are getting older, and they're no longer like guys you're like, oh yeah, got to watch him play.
Yeah.
It's just I don't see those guys. Ant I think could be one of those guys. Definitely.
We would have had it, but it was up to him.
Right. Of course. Right.
And he didn't get it done. He did not get it done. So anyway, if you like, there's got to be NBA fans out there that are still soaking up what they're getting because this is the end of the season. Plenty of others, they may have already checked out. Game 7, though, we have been treated to quite a few Game 7s through the years, so at least it'll be fun from that standpoint. And they expect more eyeballs to be on it because it's Game 7. And so maybe just Game 7, the words Game 7 alone will bring some fans to it.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's nothing else
Maybe.
going on, okay? This is when you basically flash your ID, your sports ID card as I'm just a football fan, or I'm just this, which is, yeah, I mean, you're nodding your head. That is what you are. And so that's all I need to hear before any of the other stuff about they don't have the star power or anything like that.
I mean, think about it. Anybody in the Knicks do anything for you? Like a dynamic star power type of guy?
I like Kat and Jalen Brunson. I
do too.
Yeah, I did.
But I don't think they're like, you got to watch this guy play. I just don't think they're like that.
Is Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown?
No,
you got to watch.
No,
this guy play?
that's kind of what I mean.
This is your NBA.
No. I mean,
This is who.
I think those are great play. I think they're great basketball players.
Yeah.
There's no doubt they are.
Yeah.
My point is, I don't think they're guys that are going to draw people from outside the NBA in. You know what I mean?
Well,
like they're going to be that kind of dynamic personality / player where people who don't necessarily watch the NBA are going to now start watching the NBA.
So you're looking for a Caitlin Clark to help the NBA? Is what you're
I'm
saying.
looking for like not LeBron, because LeBron's a once in a lifetime. Not LeBron or Mike, but someone like KD, someone like Steph, someone like that to come into the league again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ant is that guy, but he's got to get to that level.
Yeah. Look, we've had all these other guys, and they all have their share of star power. It's just hard to measure up if you don't soak up the sport. Because
JJ, am I wrong? I mean, does the league have a star power guy kind of guy?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and look, it's because people.
But I think it's silly to say that had the Timberwolves been in the finals, then it would be better ratings.
Yeah, they would.
Like,
that's fair
dude,
to
no,
say.
it wouldn't.
That's definitely fair.
No,
You're
it
right.
wouldn't. And Anthony Edwards is not a star, and he's not a good enough basketball player to get past Oklahoma City.
Yeah, he didn't get
That was very clear.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he does have like that unique personality.
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
And he's
But
a
yeah,
really good player.
I agree with Matt 100,000%.
Well,
there's no star power. There's nothing that's going to get my dad to watch this.
Right.
No,
I
meanwhile, we 2016, my dad was watching.
Right.
When it's Cavs versus Warriors,
Right.
LeBron versus Steph.
and there's really good play. Paulo Banchero is a great player, but he's not going to bring people in.
Yeah,
He's just not.
I do think the brands bring outsiders in. There's no. It's like we talked about J.J. Spawn. J.J. Spawn was not going to get anybody to turn the television on, but if it was another one of the guys, Bryson DeChambeau will get people to turn the television on. Rory will get the people turning their TVs on. I know exactly what you're saying from a star power standpoint. The only thing I'm saying is that J.J. Spawn did enough to win that bad boy. These teams have done enough to play for that bad
and I want
boy.
to be very
That's
clear.
all I'm saying.
I'm not minimizing the Pacers or the Thunder. I think when the Thunder win this thing, it's going to be fantastic. It'll be great for that franchise.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, and I'm just saying as like an overreaching 30,000 feet thing is all I'm saying. Like, so the Thunder haven't since they were the Sonics. The last time they won it. Mm-hmm. Right, and the Sonics didn't win since when? 79?
Yeah, you got
80?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost one year and then won it the next.
Yeah, they lost
I don't
to the
even
Bulls,
think
then beat the
Sean
Bulls.
Kemp had started having kids
No.
at
They
that
never
point.
beat the Bulls. So we're talking 70s.
That's what I'm saying. They lost to the Bullets in 79.
Oh, Bullets. I thought you said Bulls.
No, Bullets. Lost
Yep.
to the Bullets in 79, then beat them in 80, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Kemp had not started having kids yet at this point when they were winning. Okay, that's how far back.
I'm
we
not
gotta
even
go.
sure he was born at that
Exactly.
point.
That's my whole point. But OKC had a chance, remember? They went up 1-0, and then got swept right out of the finals when we go back to the Harden.
And they had some star power on that team.
Westbrook,
KD
days.
That's-
Yeah, it was
that
that was
Very young.
yeah, very
That's true.
young.
Very young. No
and
doubt.
then it got ripped apart, and we all know KD went from there to GSW and so on and so forth, and the rest is history. But that was
Well, KD ripped it apart.
Yeah.
It didn't get ripped apart.
well,
Yeah, they lost 3-1
Yeah.
in 2016
yeah.
to the Warriors. They blew a 3-1 lead, and then KD decided that summer
I'm out.
on July 4th to join. Or it was it was that year.
Yeah,
and
Ohio
it ruined
State.
the next 2 or 3 seasons of
right.
basketball for everybody.
Yep,
It sucked.
Exactly.
The
And-
only reason that Toronto won that series the third season was because, wasn't KD got hurt and then Clay with his Achilles. Like, it was
Both had the
basically
Achilles.
Steph versus
Season.
Kawhi and company.
Yeah,
Right,
both,
and the
both
thing
had
with,
the
the thing with
Achilles.
KD too, why I think KD never became what he could have become.
But he was an MVP that year.
No,
He was
I know he was.
Real,
but I mean, why he never became like the star power guy that he could have, because there's a grind and a climb. Like Jordan couldn't beat the Celtics, had to get by Bird. had to get by the Pistons.
Exactly right.
You know?
Everybody
And
turned on
yes,
KD after that. KD was like the one guy in the league, star-wise, who kind of nobody hated him. You know, he was sort of unhateable.
he was
then
right there to be that guy.
everybody hated him.
Yes.
He became Bitterman. He was a bitter man.
He was
after
literally
that.
on the verge of becoming the next like legitimate superstar in the league.
And he was talent-wise superstar.
Yes.
But then he became angry. He became bitter, and then he went.
No, he
burner.
wanted the easy road.
He did win titles, and then he realized, hey, maybe it wasn't about winning titles because these are, these rings that I have in Golden State are sort of meaningless.
Right.
You know, like it would have meant so much more at OKC or, wherever.
Yes, God, yes. If he
burner phones, burner accounts.
And he was having to defend himself on social media for years, and like he got butthurt about everybody in the media talking about it
constantly. And by the way, he's still right now out there for sale.
Not only that,
he's getting traded this summer.
When you think about him,
I'm saying he's for sale.
Yeah.
Right, and when you think about him, you don't think about a great player, a rare, unique type of player, skill set. You think of a guy who went championship hopping. That's what you think.
Yeah, but
at
like
least
I said,
right now. I mean, I hope for his sake that 20 years down the line we can look back with like sober thoughts and be like, KD was one of the best scorers I've ever seen in my life.
I'm in on
one
that
of the best players I've ever seen in my life. Probably the best college player I've ever seen.
When they won that title, he was the MVP.
Oh yeah, he was much better than Steph.
Stunningly
in those
good
years.
that year, and because he could run and shoot from outside and drive the lane, he just did so many things in so long. Oh yeah. I'll always view him like that. But yeah, and heck, the only guy who couldn't get him to a title was Rick Barnes. That's it. The only one. That was a shot at Rick. Yeah, has nothing to do with anything.
For those of you who aren't listening to March, Joe hates Rick Barnes, thinks he's a terrible coach, which I was shocked that he's only won that one title.
Yeah, I don't even really hate him. I've just lost money
hate him.
because of him. That's really what it's boiled down to.
But I get what Matt's saying before we go to break.
Yeah.
But this series to me has been absolutely awesome.
It has.
I get it when he says it feels like a conference semifinal. Yeah. I totally get that. From the production level on ESPN down to just like, these teams, like they don't have that feel. But
it's
the
so funny.
series to me has been awesome. Back and forth, and having a team that had the lowest odds or the highest odds to win.
I'll put it to you
since
this way.
2004 is now taking this into a game 7. Like this is crazy to me.
They had over the top odds to win. You could have
minus 750.
Minus 750 plus what was it for?
I don't even know.
It was in
had
that.
Had to been 6 to 1, 5 to 1.
I thought it was 5. It might have been 5,000, something like that. But anyway, it was up there. And I'll just tell you this, like I said, I at least watch it and enjoy it. When I'm in Nashville and we're doing the CMA Fest at Old Red, I'm looking at the scores when they pulled off that upset.
Really?
Game 1. And we have had surprises galore, really, courtesy of Indiana, courtesy of the Knicks when you go back to knocking out Boston, and a few of those other ones. But anyway.
And some insane comebacks.
Yeah,
right. Every series has had crazy comebacks.
Right. I also think
hit in that game. My God.
We point to the ratings. Every sport, but that's not named football, struggles in ratings now.
Well, I was just going to say, this one does it, like you said, it feels like it's a, quote, less than a
yeah.
The brands that showed up for the college football title were brands, and it was still panned by the fans. So there's no way to know. No way to know what's those were brands.
Yeah, you don't think that ESPN would have signed up for Ohio State versus Notre Dame college football
12 months
final?
earlier?
I think they would have rather had Ohio State, Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But still, they would have signed up.
But I'm saying out of who was left in the playoffs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And
about
it definitely didn't meet expectations. I was expecting a crazy number.
Well, also because the first half was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State was beating the hell out of them.
But if you're watching during the first half, you don't know it's going to be terrible. Like, doesn't that? I don't know how ratings work, but it's not like I'm assuming if someone watches in the first quarter, that counts.
Yeah, no doubt. No, but I'm also assuming like if you I don't know how they do the totality of the quarters or the game, but if that game's getting away from Notre Dame in the first half, which it was, you got people leaving at that point.
Or people maybe not tuning in that like check the score late and like, okay.
Here's the thing you got to know more than anything else. Everyone's checking out on everything these days, okay?
Yeah.
They do not have
attention spans.
Yeah, they don't have the patience to stick around for anything. Greatness, if it doesn't happen in an instant, forget about it.
I hope they stick around through this commercial break.
Yeah, that's right. Stick around.
The Stanley Cup playoffs were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the ratings were down.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so we got to bring up Josh Hines-Allen talking about where he thinks he should be in terms of star power as a rush end. It's interesting that he's chiming in on where other people are seeing him, so that's definitely worth bringing up. And then we're going to get into a little college football, have some fun today. A Florida home AC Friday, cool rock and roll, kind of cool you off a little bit, get you fired up for the weekend. Just hit the DJ, hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
What are we talking about here?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We're talking about solid professionals.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are the drill.
They're the best I've ever seen, ever.
Weekday mornings
Please don't try this at home.
on 1010XL.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage too.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus, right now you choose a pre-owned 2023 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till January 2026? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us 641-1010.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the first place Steamwheelers. Catch all the action this Saturday, June 21st at 7. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Come cheer on the Sharks as they circle a playoff bid. It's Star Wars night presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Dress up in your favorite costume. Get photos with your favorite Star Wars characters before the game. The first 1,000 kids get a free lightsaber. Join us on the field after the game for a free autograph session and special jersey auction. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks!
The
housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
XL Primetime, Joe C., Matty Hayes. Check out his stuff at USA Today Sports. JJ playing the DJ as well today on a Florida Home AC Friday. Cool, rock, and roll. All you got to do is just kind of get him to go. Like, he's got this huge playlist. He's got some of those old 45s and LPs in there, CDs and so on. So he'll just kind of start going.
You got some
through.
45s in there, JJ?
He'll go through his audio library.
Where did you find one of the adapters? You know, what are those adapters called, Joe? The little
it was just one that you had to drop in
plastic
there.
Piece that you had to put in there to.
I can't remember what it was called.
What the hell was that called?
Yeah, but
And
yeah,
it looked like a. I don't even have.
It was just an adapter.
Yeah, but it had like a funky little.
It was a
pattern to it.
phalange.
Phalange.
Yeah, you just drop it in there and then boom.
Always searching for that too. Yeah. Always lost it. Always.
So
we actually used to have like a few 8-tracks back here in the studio, like as a joke.
You know what's funny?
And I don't know where they're at anymore. I'm looking everywhere.
I know you know this, Joe, because you did it. But JJ, so I was on this show called The Ball on another station, like in the 90s. Okay. And when they did commercials, they actually had 8 tracks that they pushed in. And did the commercial.
Yeah, when I was at the University of Florida, and Prosser was my first boss. Jeff Prosser was the first one that cussed me out on WRUF, and it was at like 5:15 in the morning, and it was something to the
really. I
effect
can't see Prosser getting upset.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
He's not an angry man. He's got a great disposition, but it was basically something to the effect of "Don't F this up," okay? And my eyes wide open, just scared to death, and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, but you would have a box of 8 tracks,
right,
with your script that you would walk down and hand to the great Otis Boggs.
Nice.
And then he'd say,
legendary Otis Boggs.
"Thank you, young man. Thank you." And he'd look at it and he might completely understand it or not completely understand it. You really weren't sure, but you hope that you wrote it well. And then Otis would get all the credit because he'd read it out loud and they'd throw those carts in there, boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
You had to cut tape back then, all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. That's for sure. All right, so we just got to get to this one little piece as far as Josh Hines Allen is concerned, because it is interesting when you have a guy that decides to go on social media and post something. And look, we've had a lot of discussions here of late as far as your Jaguars are concerned, and it comes down to how many top 10 players do they have at their position. And even PFF went through the top 32 at each position across the National Football League. So there's been all sorts of different ways that you could attack this. But know this, Josh Hines Allen isn't where he should be, or I think Jaguar fans would like him to be when it comes to one of the top pass rushers in the National Football League. 17 and a half sacks, big contract, and then the next year, 8. And he was not the same type of player. We've had this debate on XL Primetime a ton. Did he gain too much weight? Who told him to do that? Did he lose a step? Is he going to be able to get back to that? Well, anyway, he chimed in on social talking about not making the top 10. And what he was talking about was his draft class. Okay, so the 2019 NFL draft, when the Giants made the move to get Daniel Jones, he was right there, and Jacksonville took him 7th overall. And it was meant to be because he was wearing a Jaguar sport coat. He was Natalie dressed that night. And so anyway, he goes 7th. But his post on X was not making the top 10 for my draft class is wild to me. I've never been handed anything. Always had to earn every inch and still get misunderstood. But that's all right. Let's keep proving people wrong, just like always. Now, I'm not quite sure what he means when he says just misunderstood, because either you are or you aren't in the minds of people who are putting these things together. So anyway, Fox Sports decides to put it together. And you'll see a lot of this stuff right now, especially when we kind of sew together mini camp, OTAs, and then get you closer and closer to training camp. So Fox puts it out there, the top 10, the 10 best players
from the
2019 NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Chris Lindstrom, one of the NFL's best interior offensive linemen. Matt, go ahead and hit the round of applause button, because that's basically what you're looking for.
This isn't just the first round. This is the entire draft, correct?
Well, he was a first round pick and was graded as the top guard each of the last 3 seasons. So he just signed a huge deal. Lindstrom with Atlanta, $105 million deal, a 5-year deal worth 20. Think about that. As far as interior lineman goes, just how valuable a guy like that is. Number 9, wide receiver Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders. And when you go back and you think about what he's been able to do, he's honestly proved a lot of people wrong.
3rd round pick, 76th overall.
Yeah. And so you think about that. And so this is just the top 10 of the draft.
Lindstrom was 14.
Yeah. And he was a first round pick, but Terry McLaurin was not. And so in 2024, 82 receptions for nearly 1,100 yards, a career high 13 touchdowns. Don't think he wasn't on my prop sheet at hardrock.bet, because he was. McLaurin balled, but he was outside of the first 60 picks. What did you say? What number was it?
76.
Yeah. And so that's the type of guy you're looking for.
Let's go through all these numbers of these guys, okay?
Yeah. So the next guy is DK Metcalf.
Okay.
Now, Metcalf was obviously big and
64
strong
overall.
Yeah. And so he was right there at the end of the 2nd round. 6 seasons in the league, at least 900 receiving yards each year. 1,000 yards at least.
Has had a way better career.
Yeah, each of the last 3 years. And interestingly enough, he's been a little uneven at times, but he is a machine when he's on. Now, think about this. He had to endure when Russ started to rust just a little bit, and then when they did the deal and they brought in, before Geno, I'm drawing a blank, Drew Lock. They brought in, these guys, and they were just experimenting, trying to figure out whatever they could possibly do to recover from saying goodbye to Russ. Anyway, 66 receptions, 992 yards, 5 touchdowns last season. Next guy, 7th, Josh Jacobs. Jacobs has led the league in rushing. He certainly has been valuable to the Green Bay Packers. He was a Vegas Raider for a long time. And like we said, pretty good player.
Well, he led the league in rushing.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can just stop right there. He led the league in rushing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He was also first round. He's 24th overall.
Yeah, so he's the guy that came out of Bama, and people were loving on him, and then they were willing to reach for a running back later in the 1st round, but not necessarily at the top of the draft.
No, you're also like, if you're someone who's trying to figure out where they stand in the draft, you're really not comparing yourself to a running back, because running backs are out of the league in 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and honestly, this is ancient history for most people as far as re-ranking the 2019 draft. Josh Allen just needs to say, I've dropped weight and I'm going to kick ass this year. That's what he needs
I
to
sucked
say.
last year. I didn't play well. It's my fault.
Right. Number 6 on this list, Jeffrey Simmons, a much debated guy coming out of college. He still was picked Remember,
19 overall.
Yeah, he had an ACL also during that offseason, and someone still reached and went for him and made him a first-round draft pick.
A beast.
Yeah, and he's honestly one of the guys. In Jacksonville, believe it or not, blocking-wise, as much as we have panned this offensive line, they handled Jeffrey Simmons for the most part the two times that they saw him this past year. Anyway, he's up there just in terms of volume production from an interior lineman. Pretty dang good. The 5th pick overall that year, if you re-ranked the top 10 players in the 2019 draft, according to Fox Sports, you can rip him if you want, but Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, and definitely another good player interiorly.
17 overall.
Yeah, and he came out highly regarded out of Clemson. He's been a Pro Bowler each of the last 3 years, 9 sacks in just 12 games. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Ever heard of Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
We've talked about him. He, even though he was number 1 pick overall that year, he's 4th on Fox Sports' rankings when they go back. A.J. Brown, who we've talked about as well, that was listed as...
Could argue he's like the 3rd best receiver in the league.
Yeah, and PFF, with their metrics, they put him at the top just because of the yards per catch and productivity in certain situations. Anyway, they have him number 3. Now, that we're talking about 2 cats that came out of the Southeastern Conference wearing the same uniform in that draft. Pretty dang good. Okay, A.J. Brown, pretty dang good.
51 overall, A.J. Brown.
51. So DK went...
Titans. DK went 24?
No, I thought you said 64.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So both of them second round is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, both second round picks.
64, right.
Yeah. Max Crosby. I'm pretty sure he was a 3rd rounder.
Yep.
No, 4th rounder. Take it back. 4th rounder, Max Crosby. Now, this is the guy that you got to be thinking about when you're talking about where does Josh Hines Allen rank, because Max came out in the same class, a 4th round draft pick, outside of the top 100 in the draft, 10 sacks as a rookie, and then basically has been at a Pro Bowl level. Now,
106 overall.
Yeah, 106. Okay. 2-time All-Pro. And got hurt up and down this year, so he didn't have, honestly, a great year. But still, they rank him up there. Nick Bosa, number 1. That's not
given.
Too much of a surprise because he was the 2nd pick overall, regarded as the best player that year, just that Kyler Murray went number 1.
I mean, if you start thinking about this,
Arizona.
Who has had a better career so far, Quinn Williams or Josh Allen?
Quinn Williams has been really, really good.
Pretty darn good. Devin White or Josh Allen?
Even.
I don't know if I'd go even. I think Devin White might have been all pro.
He was, he might have been. I'm not even sure what as far as that boat goes, but they both have had. In other words, Josh Hines Allen has not been bad in my mind.
TJ Hawkinson or Josh Hines Allen?
I'm probably going to go Josh Hines Allen. TJ Hawkinson has not delivered the way.
It's close.
Yeah, he's not
close.
He has not delivered the way he was supposed to. He was dealt. He was not.
I know he was.
Yeah. He was dealt. All right, let's keep this conversation going. We'll get into a little college football coming up. It is XL Primetime, Florida Home AC Friday, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're talking Jack Ball right now, and make sure, as hot as it is, you can still take advantage of a discount on a tune-up. All you have to do is log on, take advantage of the special at FloridaHomeAC.com.
Feel the downforce of 100 horses.
You see him shaking as he goes down Long Pond straightaway.
This Sunday at Pocono Raceway, NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on 1010XL.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
From humble origins on Beach Boulevard to the grandeur of the old homestead, Takaloo has bucked the odds, selling cheap tacos and even cheaper beers since 2008. I'll be the first to lament that nothing is cheap anymore, but much has not changed in 17 years. Bangin' Shrimp still rocks, margaritas flow day and night, and we love to see old friends and make new friends every day. You can still spin the wheel or sit outside on the patio in the sun with friends and family. It's been a ton of fun, and we have you, Jacksonville, to thank for 17 years. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Mia here for Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet, and you know how much I love it. My family is obsessed. With summer here, why not finally create that custom garage workspace you and your dad want? Think tool storage, workbenches, a place for everything to go. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes all you guys. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. ClosetsByDesign.com.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 20th, 1993, the Chicago Bulls became the first team since the Celtics of the 60s to win 3 straight titles after they beat the Phoenix Suns in 6.
Divorce. MenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The 4th is a few weeks away, and I know what you're thinking. I can't start Awaken 180 weight loss because I want to eat on the long 4th of July weekend. Well, guess what? You can eat hamburgers on Awaken 180 weight loss. You can eat chicken, steak, or pork, too. You can even eat lobster because you're eating real food and losing weight. More important, it's fast, easy, and safe. No chemical shots, no counting calories or points, or any other fad diet. I can't stress this enough. You eat real food every single day. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awaken 180? Eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night, and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost more than 110. And you know what? You can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely by eating real food every single day. Awaken 180 weight loss is the clear path to success without disappointment. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online, awaken180weightloss.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
I-9 Sports is geared up for fun for kids all over the First Coast with summer and fall registration now open. Kids ages 3 to 17 can get in the gym or on the field with I-9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, St. John's, and I-9 has all-girls flag football at Oakley, UNF, Fletcher, and Creekside. Plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast to take advantage of. Don't miss out. Registration now open for summer and fall at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That takes us back to our origin, the big hair, heavy metal Friday. It's just plain rock these days, but I love that sound. 641-1010. JJ will spin them for you, and he'll definitely dive deep if you've got one of those. Well, it just depends on if it's in his library, but if you got a deep cut, he definitely is going to help. make sure that you get in a good mood heading into the weekend. All right, 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You want to request a song. I want to talk about the Jags, what we've been talking about. Got to work a little college ball in, especially with still more and more fallout. I laughed. I couldn't help but laugh out loud, Matt, when I read a headline that there still could be some movement with the Pac-12 and it involved Texas State. I couldn't help but laugh, okay? Are you kidding me? How desperate are these whatever?
They're still a couple teams shy of where they want to be. Yeah,
it just cracks me up, though. You know that. And when you just talk about the fact that it doesn't make sense, just give up is basically what you should do if you are the Pac-12.
But see, I disagree with that because, I mean, you're talking about a conference that has more than 100 national titles.
Yeah, well,
it's a conference that's been the DNA of college sports, part of the DNA.
That I get. Now, it's so funny because there's a lot of things that we have done recently that we've all argued and debated that have just took tradition to the woodshed, okay?
Yeah.
They just they flushed it, okay? They took it to the outhouse and flushed it. And yet some things we want to cling to and hang on to and argue for that. And listen, when the Pac-12 broke up, honestly, I might have shed a late night Pac-12 tear.
I don't think you did.
I did because I loved watching some of that late night Pac-12. Me and Rick Ballou. Okay,
being up at 1:45 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm in the sports lounge. He's in the Blue Sports Bar, and we're texting. So we loved Pac-12 late night, and so there was some great games. Remember, we saw a lot of great players that came out of the Pac-12. But what did happen, obviously, was SEC fracturing the Big 12, and then the Big 10 striking by fracturing the Pac-12, and they just took them apart in what? 4 months?
Well, Texas and Oklahoma fractured the Big 12.
Yeah, but that's what I said.
No, you said the SEC fractured them.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Either or. Sankey can say they called him, but whatever. All I'm simply saying is that the SEC fractured the Big 12, and then the Big 10 collapsed the Pac-12.
Not initially. It got by getting USC and UCLA, it was definitely big. Mm-hmm. And then they just waited for it to collapse on itself, which is what it did.
Yeah, but
it was like one of those stars, and those black stars or whatever, just completely collapsed on itself.
But like once you know you've made that first move, you know that if you're playing the game that you
right, and the game they played was we're not expanding anymore, we're fine.
Right. Well, what's the game where you're trying to pull the wedges out and then it all collapses? Jenga. Then so you knew that once you pulled those first two, you were going to get Washington and Oregon. You were going to get
whoever you wanted, yes.
Right. And they decided on those.
They did, yeah.
Because they got Seattle and they got one of the big plums in Oregon. But anyway, I just laughed. I couldn't help but laugh when you think about it.
Yeah, the further I get removed of what happened a few years ago, the further I get annoyed about the fact that there's not a West Coast Conference. Mm-hmm. Like there's not a power West Coast Conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know why that's – I don't know why – the funny thing is I always say those running college football, we don't know who's running it. It's basically the presidents of the SEC and the Big Ten who are running college
serious
football.
Power brokers, that's for sure.
Somehow these guys decided, and gals, that there didn't need to be a power conference on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
How that came about, I will never, ever know.
Right. And they basically took an entire region away when you think about it. Of eyeballs in a lot of people's minds. You may not have had as many diehard college football fans that lined the left coast because they were more into their pro sports teams, which my mom's family up and down California, I know that all too well. They root for pro sports. They had a little USC in their heart, but that was it. There was nothing else they were paying attention to. Anyway, and so whenever those teams left, and the exodus happened, and most of them went to the Big 10, and then a few of them went to the Big 12, then they really shut their fandom off for college football, pretty much.
Well, at the very least, what they've done is they've made it more difficult for themselves to get the fringe fans. Because if you're out on the West Coast and Oregon's playing on the road against Ohio State,
yeah, it's like
you're just not getting up and watching that 9 a.m. kick. You're not.
We're sitting here talking about fringe fans.
Unless you're a crazy football fan, then you're going to get and watch it. But if you're just some guy who, does some work in his yard every weekend and hangs out with his kids.
Yeah.
Not really a huge college football fan on the West Coast, and you live in Eugene, Oregon, or you live close to Oregon, or you live in Portland, wherever. you're not going to watch that game. You're just
Right.
not.
Yeah, like we're talking about fringe fans with the NBA not paying attention. Those fans, that's basically a region.
They
that
they basically lopped off that region is what they did.
Yeah. JJ, I don't.
For that first window, for the first game time window.
Yeah, I don't know that this
Noon
is
kicks.
worth of that, but I still want to at least do it because it made me laugh.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I said that the Big Ten took the Pac-12 to the outhouse and flushed them. Dude texts in, I'm from West Virginia. You don't flush an outhouse, Joe. And that's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. There is no lever.
I still don't know how that works, actually.
Yeah, it just goes away.
It just goes into the ground?
Yeah, it just goes away.
All of it?
Well, yeah. Yeah, gravity and decomposition. It just goes away. But yeah, you're not moving the outhouse, and there is no flushing mechanism.
How deep is the hole?
I'm gonna say a good 4 or 5 feet. I don't even want to think about it. But this is the one thing that I will add to this conversation real quick. And
I think you might be wrong there. That's all I'm saying.
There's definitely a bucket situation.
Yeah. Well,
I think you might be wrong.
Listen,
there's definitely a bucket that is constantly taken out.
Some people may have that. They don't all have that. Like I said, I appreciate him from West Virginia informing me this because he was 100% right, and I completely forgot. But we had an outhouse when we were at a hunting camp way back as kids, and I don't think I ever emptied it, but I'm sure somebody did, but I don't think I did. But it was interesting.
So do you
the
because I've heard
people come and get.
I've seen where people throw like wood shavings in it. What does that do?
I've never heard that. Does that soak up?
I don't know.
The gas.
So I'm asking.
Well, I remember when a kid used to throw up at school, the janitor would always bring like it would look like wood shavings.
Yes. Now that you're saying that, I kind of remember that.
And it would totally kill the smell.
Yeah, because it probably eats up the gas. Maybe just absorbs some of that. It's interesting.
Yeah, your whole 5-foot thing doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's got to be deeper.
I don't know, honestly. I know that I'm trying to think of where else I had an outhouse that I went to. Definitely at the hunting camp, but I can't remember. I can't remember where else I've never been asked to get rid of one, which I just assumed it went to the bottom. Like Randy from Vacation. What was his name? His real name?
No, there's the thing. I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah.
What do you think? You just take a dump in the ground, bro? You just leave it there?
See?
What are you insane?
I knew you were wrong. Man.
I'm just telling you that there might have been some like that. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe. But
look, if you're going to do that, then you own a bunch of acres and you don't care what anyone else insists you do.
I mean, I guess.
Just after a while.
I think JJ and I are kind of talking about if you're building a cabin out in the woods and you're trying to live
then you
off.
got a bucket like he's describing.
Yeah, if you live
guests.
there.
Yeah, if you have guests. Little House on the Prairie. I'm sure that's what they were doing way back then. But I don't know. I'm just glad that he pointed it out. Wood shavings to soak up. We use something similar. See, I love this information that we get from our XL Primetimers. They use something similar at a grocery store. I did not know that. But as soon as JJ said it, I'm like, I can kind of picture that. But
well, this guy's saying there's another way with a self-contained structure that doesn't require plumbing or a septic system. It typically consists of a small building housing a seat over a pit dug into the ground.
Yeah.
Human waste and toilet paper are decomposited into the pit, and over time, natural processes like bacteria, evaporation, and seepage decompose the waste.
Yeah, and I'll just
when the pit fills, the outhouse can be moved to a new location. Oh, so you just poop in the ground and you move.
Yeah, and I'll just use the Gladstone's phrase here. It's the ecosystem, and it just kind of all takes care of itself.
Sounds to me like an ecosystem.
Well, it was an ecosystem back then.
All you guys saying the same thing that's not true because that hole cannot be 5 feet deep. It's got to be like 10 feet minimum.
Well, for you, but I'm just thinking some people may have had to put up with that. They may have said this thing's only 5. I'm not gonna listen. He's the one who brought it up, and I appreciate it. That's for sure. But I wanted to say this one thing: all toilets are not created equal. I like to give this PSA out occasionally. You have to flush some of them.
Yeah,
and we have gone through a post-pandemic world.
There are people who don't flush toilets.
They don't flush. They think,
and I don't
everything,
know why.
Like at work, even.
Well, yeah, they think everything's automatic.
I wasn't going to say that, JJ, but now that you have said that,
right? They think everything's automatic, and it's not.
No,
okay, some of it is on you.
Yeah.
I literally
you have to flush.
I made a
Not the
sign
airport.
that said flush the toilet after use.
Yeah.
A sign.
Yeah.
And put it on there.
Well, I put one, and then they put a song lyric up there, which was just awesome. I put "Leave On," and it was above the light, and then the great
It
Dave.
shall be
Yeah,
leave on.
yeah. He wrote the lyrics of
That had to have been Tom Champion.
which
Yeah,
was-
that had
yeah,
to.
it had to have been Top Chef. It was just great. It was just great. All right, so I don't know how we did that, but we did it. We went, and I just
Could have been Rick Ballou, actually.
These are the things that we learn when we're on XL Primetime, going back in time. All right, so let's set it up. Heading into the next hour, we'll get back to some of the Jaguar talk, back to the NBA Finals. You got the College World Series with a great story with Coastal Carolina, a team that honestly is now looking more and more like they belong as a regular at the College World Series, especially with what they've been able to do this year. And then LSU is just one of those standards that you expect in college baseball to be there. Wasn't that long ago they beat the Gators with Paul Skeens and company, and now we'll see if they can do it again, win another natty. And then who knows, that could be one of those big things that buoys Baton Rouge as they get ready for the college football season. Maybe they'll be celebrating a national title from Omaha to kind of get over, to salve the wound if Brian Kelly and company lose that opener again, like he has the last
He just can't. He can't.
Yeah, you don't think he can win that opener?
No, I'm saying he can't lose it.
He can't
He
lose
just
it.
can't
Yeah,
lose that game.
I hate to interject, but I must read this text.
Okay, all right.
Text of the day. It's a FICO system.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Genius, dude.
Beautiful. Love it. Listen, put that on a T-shirt. That's awesome. Oh, all right. It's XL Primetime. Heading to the 3 o'clock hour, Florida Home AC Friday. Bring some rock and roll suggestions. JJ's way.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
The ball comes out and it's picked up. The Jags are going to run it into the end zone. Josh Allen scores a touchdown.
1010XL,
The Jags are going to win.
home of the Jaguars.
Soft takes are boring. That's why I dropped the hammer on the Frangie Show. I'm Hayes Carlion. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekday afternoons on 1010XL.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing, septic, or AC issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to tackle your problems today. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Have you been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder? You may qualify for a new clinical research study. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso is now enrolling participants to evaluate the effectiveness of a non-opioid medication treatment option for OUD. Qualified participants will receive study-related care at no cost and may be eligible for reimbursement of travel and accommodations. To qualify, applicants must be 18 to 65 years old, have been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder, and have not been on medication to treat opioid use in the last 3 months. The study lasts up to 22 weeks, with weekly visits during treatment. If you're ready to explore a new path forward, visit OUDstudy.com for more details and qualifications. Take the first steps and visit OUDstudy.com. That's OUDstudy.com. OUDstudy.com.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Spend an evening with heart. One night, 2 sets. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. June 24th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss an evening with heart live. The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the first place Steamwheelers. Catch all the action this Saturday, June 21st at 7. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Come cheer on the Sharks as they circle a playoff bid. It's Star Wars night presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Dress up in your favorite costume. Get photos with your favorite Star Wars characters before the game. The first 1,000 kids get a free lightsaber. Join us on the field after the game for a free autograph session and special jersey auction. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks!
For the greenest, lushest lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD. I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Lone Pronto. As the Jacksonville Jaguars get ready for a Jaguars 2025 football season with a full capacity of 60,000 plus fans, Everbank Stadium partners will be hiring more than 1,000 part-time positions at a job fair on Tuesday, June 24th. The event will take place from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Organizations participating include ASM Global Jacksonville, Safe Management, Delaware North, Citywide, and Fanatics. Available positions include ushers, ticket takers, food service staff, bartenders, servers, cashiers, security, merchandise staff, housekeeping, and parking attendants. Professional dress, a smile, and a pen are recommended. To learn more about the event, visit www.jaguars.com/GST careers. It's 93 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That's some good rock and roll.
Some crazy from Heat right there, baby.
go back in time. Some good stuff. 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get yourself in a good mood heading into the weekend. A Florida Home AC Friday with some cool rock and roll. Throw 'em JJ, the DJ's way. NBA Finals is on to Game 7. So we're going to look forward to seeing if we do get the theater that we've gotten, whether or not you think the teams really don't kind of move the meter for you. Still getting a Game 7 is pretty dang good when you think about it. We'll see how it ultimately plays out over the weekend. And if SGA and company, I get the feeling, just like probably both of you guys do, they've got to respond. They sucked last night. They basically shut it down. SGA had more turnovers than field goals made. That's just not the stuff you expect to see from an MVP. And we'll find out whether or not they can turn it around.
They've played so well at Oklahoma City, though.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt they will play their best game. Doesn't mean that the Pacers won't too. Mm-hmm. Pacers could go win there. Of course they can. It's a one-game
both
shot.
teams have stolen games, and the other one's barn. But the largest lead last night for the Pacers was 31 points against the number 1 seed. That's embarrassing. 91 points, season low for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You know, it was crazy when they took a 12-point lead or something really not that big in the first half.
Right.
It was the biggest lead the Pacers had all series up to that point. Mm-hmm. So, like, they have not had any dominance whatsoever. They've just been, hanging around and winning the game at the end. But last night, that's why I was so surprised. I wasn't, like, crazy surprised that the Pacers won at home.
Right.
I mean, I picked OKC, but for the way they won it is in dominant fashion was what really shocked me. That was, like, OKC just... Like, you guys know this is a game final, or, the 6th game of the NBA Finals, right? I know that you have never been there before, but, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah,
man?
yeah. And that's not what you want to see from a championship-level team, that's for sure. All right, a couple off the text line. I do like this as far as the we're talking about outhouses and toilets that you need to flush on your own. You can't just rely on an automatic flushing system. One dude did text in, and perhaps he's put some of these suggestions wherever he's at. Our aim is cleanliness. Your aim will help. That's not a bad one to put up there.
That's a good sign, actually.
Yeah. He said someone needs to publish a bathroom book composed of toilet signage. I'm going to suggest that to a friend, Cosmo, friend of mine that likes to, his coffee table.
The coffee table.
He did the coffee table book. So you immediately picked up on that. Yeah. And so I'm going to suggest that to him and see.
He's a little odd.
Coffee table book with pictures of famous, nice coffee tables.
Yeah. He's a little odd.
We got another texter. On this topic, I was in a stall recently and out of toilet paper. The person in the next stall wouldn't spare a square.
That's not right.
Maybe he didn't have a square to spare.
Maybe he didn't have a square to spare.
And I know that feeling. I've cut it down, like I said to you guys, 3 squares, but I ain't giving up one of them. Okay.
You have not cut down.
I have.
You have.
Let me just tell you something. I have. And there's one thing that I am most appreciative of. And the great Billy Frick from American Electrical was the one who turned me on and convinced me of this. Metamucil. Okay? And I have brought this phenomenon to JJ, to Hack, even though it took him a long time to finally figure this out. Psyllium husk.
Yeah, psyllium husk.
You did not bring me to psyllium husk.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I don't care what you say.
Considering I didn't even live in Jacksonville when I was doing that,
I don't care what you say.
You're a Metamucil guy.
Yeah,
I go straight to the store. I get it raw. Like
the pills, yeah.
Exactly. Not even pills, just that dust.
Capsules.
It's like, disgusting dust, sawdust, and I put it in water every day, and I just basically swallow it whole.
You can get that in capsule form. You know that, the dust.
I want it straight off the bark of the tree.
Kind of like those wood chips you guys were talking about earlier.
5 to 6 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that for me.
It does.
Regulated for me. Yeah. Everything's beautiful. Yeah. All right.
Like I could never have my glass of water and then like have to rush out to go to work. Mm-hmm. That's just not happening. My body would not allow that.
I do mine in the morning and everything's glorious. It's the rest of the day. No challenges whatsoever. All right. So let's stay on the NBA for 1 second. Someone can light up right now with the ukulele.
Show's kind of way.
It's off the rails.
It has. We've gotten some bidet comments even.
No, let's not get back to that hacker stuff.
That was like a week's worth of content when I came back from Italy last year.
I do like the bidet.
You and Hacker both. That's
I
where
love it.
That's where the whole thing started.
Hack had I believe his wife purchased him, a bidet that goes on your toilet.
Yeah, he got a kit. So he doesn't have one
Super
next
jealous.
to the other one. Yeah, I am jealous. Yeah.
Oh,
He got a
yeah,
kit.
I thought he had one like an actual bowl.
No,
next to the other.
it's on his toilet.
It's a kit, man.
It's a kit.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, well,
a
that's
kit,
cheap.
man.
It's
Okay.
cheap, but
That's
it's
like
still
$40
it's better than
kit.
what I got, which is nothing.
Yeah.
You got a shower head?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
All right, stop it. Let the ukulele play. All right, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Oh! A delicious Mexican lager. And I'm telling you what, weekends are built for an ice-cold Pacifico. Found in Baja for those who live life, anchors up, imported by surfers. All right, so this is kind of a two-way perfecto. The first one is left over from the other day, but I might have, you know what? I'll probably save that bad boy. Let's just stay with this one for right now. We have a game 7. We talked about the fact that it's going to likely bring a few more viewers. It might up the ante ratings-wise. I think it's too easy of a question to ask you guys who was in the last game 7.
Cavs Warriors 2016.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's too easy because I figured JJ would nail
I
that.
was kind of shocked because I guess I thought maybe the Suns Bucks went to 7, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So, and it's been 9 years.
And there have been some pretty thrilling game 6s that probably give you that game
The
7
Raptors
feel.
series didn't get a 7?
No.
No. So
I don't even know if that got
Cavs Warriors in 2016. Warriors, by the way, had a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals, and they ultimately, with LeBron leading the way, the Cavs forced the game 7. We all know that him and Kyrie got the job done, and they won 4-3. What two teams were in the last game 7 before that?
Before that?
Yeah.
It was San Antonio versus Miami Heat.
I was going to say San Antonio. I just didn't know which team they played, though.
San Antonio was also in a game 7 against Detroit Pistons, but that was a ways back. But then we had 2010 was Boston versus the Lakers, but this was after that. So yeah, I'm gonna go Heat versus San Antonio.
What was the Boston Heat series? That was before that.
2010, I think.
Boston the Heat?
No.
Boston
Lakers.
and the Heat are both in the East.
Yeah.
Right. They were 7.
Yeah,
right.
Celtics Lakers was 2010.
Yeah.
Bring
That
him
was
up, though.
Eastern Conference 7.
Perfecto, JJ, 2013.
Nice.
So LeBron has been in the last 2 game 7s, and
that was the game 6 with Ray Allen.
With Ray Allen hitting that shot,
of course,
that pushed it. LeBron in game 7, 37 points, a dozen rebounds, 45 minutes of ball.
Tim Duncan shot at the end, he missed.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great game 7, but it just got completely overshadowed. And when you think back about that series, you
Ray
never
Allen.
think about game 7. Yeah, exactly.
It's the truth.
The Kawhi missed free throw, and then it was crazy. The LeBron missed the 3, rebound by Bosch, just and the most clutch shot I've ever seen by Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Didn't they have 2 game 7s during that run? Like maybe in the East Finals or in the semis or something?
I'm trying to remember who.
I thought they got pushed a couple
Boston,
times.
I think maybe
Could've been
they had a
against
game
Boston.
7.
Yeah.
And LeBron absolutely dominated in that game 7. I remember that. But I don't know if it was that season.
That's a rare.
Because the season before, the season after, San Antonio did win against LeBron and the Heat.
Yeah, because they went back and forth.
But that one didn't go 7.
Yeah, they were in the finals. And just think of how many times LeBron had a team in the finals. Just a crazy
9 or 10
7
straight years.
Yeah, I was thinking less than that, but it was 9, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, something else when you think about that. This one, listen, this is a personal thing, but I still needed that. It's just still.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So C Daddy chimes in and he basically says, bro, your knowledge about toilets and your preference for 3 squares is frankly freaking me out. He said,
See, I think the same.
holy cola.
Right. I don't think you have any idea about outhouses or holes or anything.
I do, man.
I don't think you do.
Listen, I grew up McCullough Creek hunting camp and Gopher Ridge hunting camp.
Okay.
And there was electricity inside, but there was no toilet or anything like that at the Gopher Ridge Hunting Club. And you had an outhouse. You did. And people would come in and cook. But I'm just saying, I was never asked to clean it. And thankfully I wasn't. I'm surprised as a youngster that they didn't make us.
As a
the
youngster,
Leighton
that
Middletons
never
and the Allen boys.
Piqued your curiosity of how that whole thing works?
No.
You never asked anybody how it works?
You ran out there when you had to.
Yes.
That's just the way I remember it. But again, I've revised some of my recollection. Yeah. Some scars says you forget about certain things you don't want to remember.
You
but
block it. Your brain just blocks. This guy on the text line has a smart toilet with heated seats and water.
Oh,
so like a bidet-ish.
And he
says it's gold.
I'm just going
love
to
you
quote
face.
him, but I think he said it's gold, Jerry. I think that's the way he finished that one.
Smart toilet with heated seats.
Yeah.
But you don't need heated seats in Florida. I could see it like.
What do you mean in the morning? Like at 2 a.m. when you gotta wake up in the middle of the night and you sit down, it's always cold.
I want the heated lamps above too, when it's cold. You've had those in like hotel rooms or whatever, where they're heated up top. TLD's been asking for that. I heat her up most of the time.
Of course. Why don't you just heat the floor too then?
Oh, that would be pretty good too. Heated strips underneath.
Yeah.
All right. We got a lot of stuff that we need.
Yeah, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I'll check with my landlord on that.
Let's get to a couple of things. College football. I wanted to bring this up, and you can consider this, JJ, dropping a little knowledge on them because I think it's warranted right now.
Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the college football playoff.
So we were just talking about Josh Hines Allen and the fact that when Fox re-ranked the 2019 NFL draft, they took the top 10 players, which it shouldn't surprise you, but it is kind of crazy that they ranked 10 players and there was roughly half of them outside of the first round. The DK Metcalfs, the AJ Browns,
at least half.
Yeah, it felt like they were about that. Anyway, they came from deeper in the draft. So it's a weird science. It's hard to get it right. More often than not, you hope James Gladstone's is.
I was going to say some do and some don't.
Yeah, you hope that James Gladstone's is the Harry Potter of the draft, and he can bring greatness in April back to Duval. But right now, you just don't know. But looking ahead at this year's college football and next year's draft class, the Matt Millers, the Jason Reeds of the world have put together some of the rankings that they would have, or Jordan Reed, that they would put together as far as where they have guys right now. How would you rank the college quarterbacks right now going into the college football season? Where would you put, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll start it off because I believe Garrett Nussmeier, as a pocket passer with a little mobility, has the goods to be the number one quarterback, maybe even the number one overall pick. But if Lenora Sellers...
He makes some bad decisions.
Yeah, well, okay. That's Kelly's job to clean that up. He made Jaden Daniels a much better quarterback from year one under him to winning the Heisman year 2 under him. That's kind of what I'm thinking with Nussmeier, because Kelly is a quarterback genius in a lot of ways when it comes to that.
Absolutely is, yeah.
And so, but the other half of this, if Lenora Sellers has the season that maybe some people are picturing and projecting,
he will be draft eligible. He's a third-year sophomore.
Yeah, he could be that guy that becomes a Jaden Daniels and that goes
or
to
an Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he could be that type of guy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but moving up, I wouldn't even throw AR in this conversation, the Jaden Daniels conversation.
No, but I'm saying he's got the AR type skill set. Is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Okay. He could easily be that type of guy where
so how you ranking him?
Get crazy about him.
Where are you putting?
I would put Drew Aller one still, because I think he's going to have a big season.
Okay, Drew Aller's big, huge human being, not necessarily the greatest passer, but you would put him number one.
Second year under Andy Koltonigge at the OC at Penn State. I think he's going to take a huge step in that second year in that offense.
Also,
I think he's going to have a big year.
We don't call him AR anymore.
Yeah, he's Anthony.
He's GVO.
Right, I forgot about that. GVO.
Yeah.
Well, he's a rapper now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I stand corrected.
Right.
I was just going back to calling him Anthony.
No, he's a rap star now, and he goes by GVO, which stands for Gainesville's Own. And,
So
he's got a hit song out now called "Villain."
okay,
Check
we
it
doesn't.
out.
It's not a hit song.
Oh,
He's
it's
just
a
got
hit.
song out.
It's a hit.
Keep rocking it, Kadarius. You just get after it, young man.
No, we're talking about Anthony Richardson.
No, I'm just saying Kadarius was, as a first-round draft pick, was wanting to focus on his rap career at the same
We've
time.
had a lot.
And it didn't quite work out.
I mean, there's one famous one that works here.
72, gotta hit him, dog. I'm trying to break through, gotta get him, dog. A big search.
How do you not bob your head when you hear that?
I love it.
He's got good flow.
He does, man. Plus, he's got a good voice too.
Yeah.
Big Surse enjoying
Surse could
a
easily
day
be
off
around.
today.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the list.
I love it. I love it.
So I think K Club is going to be high on a lot of people's list.
Yeah. I think Nussmeier could beat him out.
I got to see him do it in big games.
Yeah.
In big games where it matters most, and he's got to carry them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
Then I'll believe that. I will tell you a guy that I think has a chance to really rise.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go to Indiana. He's going to go to a coach who knows quarterbacks, Kurt Cignetti.
Google me, Kurt Cignetti.
Fernando Mendoza, who was the Cal quarterback last year. You guys,
Pretty
JJ
good.
remembers him.
Yeah.
He's a little thin, but the dude can wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's smart. His football IQ off the charts. So I think he's got a chance to have a big season too.
Okay. All right. I like that. He's a big dude. He just needs to put some weight on him.
He's thin. There's no doubt he's thin.
Okay. All right. So you could go Nussmeier.
There's a lot of guys that are going to be eligible.
I wanted him at Miami, honestly. Before Carson Beck came, I was like, hey, he's slinging all over the yard against us. He's from Miami. He's a fan. Yeah. I hope he does good.
I'll give you Marcel Reed at Texas A&M's third-year sophomore.
Yeah, he could be an
another
exciting
guy
player,
that
too.
if he becomes a thrower, if he develops into like a legit thrower, my God.
But you could
with
put
his athletic ability.
Yeah, you could put Reed and Lenoris in the same pile.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And then you got to figure out what Klubnik really is, because Klubnik needs to have a stellar season. He is another one of those guys that at times has looked really good and then has been a liability at times, made poor decisions. And maybe the same thing you're referring to with Nussmeier.
And we don't really know anything about Arch yet. I think we all think he's going to be a great player. You give him the benefit of the doubt because he's got Sark coaching him. That's number one.
Yeah.
But also because he's looked pretty good when he's played.
It's true.
Not outstanding.
But we just haven't seen.
He's looked pretty good.
Yeah, we haven't seen 60 plays and then another game of 60 plays and then another game. We just haven't seen that yet.
Right.
All
So he's got a chance. I think he's got a very and I think John Mateer might end up at the end of the year being the best quarterback in the league. So we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Kid at Oklahoma. Yeah, that dude's.
Listen, I think
he might have like a Cam Ward type season.
That would be nice. I think the guy that needs to have that type of season is the coach. Otherwise, the booze will start to replace Boomer sooner if Brett Venables doesn't have the season they're hoping for, because people are starting to laud them a little bit. That's for sure.
I think they're gonna get to the playoff, man. I think Oklahoma's going to the playoff.
You're starting to sound like Dick Vitale. You're thinking 40 teams are going to make it to the playoff.
No, I don't. I'm the guy. No. I think they're going to get to the playoff because of Mateer.
Okay,
And their defense was really good last year.
Yeah, it definitely stepped up from year 1 to year 2 under Venables, and that's what he's known for. That's for sure. All right, let's say hello to Gio coming up here in just a second. Florida Home AC Friday. Don't forget the official AC partner of the Jags. Make them yours as well. Order that tune-up or take a look at AC replacement. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Every summer, 1010XL puts its players through training camp.
Struggle. Survival.
It ain't pretty.
Victory and defeat.
But we get sharp for the season and come together as a team.
Just a game, Doc, but
1010XL.
I love it.
Hey, John, have you seen the exciting 2025 lineup at Randy Marion Cadillac?
They've got the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Vistique. It's a Cadillac lover's dream.
And the best part, over 100 new Cadillacs are in stock and ready for you to drive home today.
Plus, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and experience luxury and performance like never before.
Visit us today at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Don't miss out on these incredible vehicles. Your new Cadillac awaits.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway for all your outdoor living needs. Let them show you how a durable paver driveway can enhance your home. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Blue here for the blue.
Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
I'm Drew Scrimshire, president and publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal. In business, timing is everything. That's why every morning at 8:15, our morning edition delivers the most important business news straight to the inboxes of Jacksonville's decision makers, executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and industry leaders. Want to know what the First Coast power players are reading before they start their day? Join them. Subscribe today to the Jacksonville Business Journal Morning Edition at bizjournals.com/Jacksonville.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Put the ball in the net with 60 minutes of soccer talk. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers, the right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach. You just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need. Lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals. From festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals.
You need it, we've got it. Come see us.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
Always good when young Gio carves out a little time, stepping away from what might be carving something else, as he is an orthopedic surgeon, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. I'm painting a good picture. Ortho man, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. I know you're busy. You're right there at Bari Orthopedics, making sure people are on the mend. We got to throw some sports injury questions at you. If you have one out there, you can hit the text line Design My Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Hit up Gio for some free medical advice. So you've been busy this week is what you're saying to us.
I have been busy.
Have you?
Yeah. Matt always says that. Yeah. Really?
Have you really, Gio?
Yeah, I'm calling you from the golf course.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to one that's been very important for me and anxious as all get out, Gio. When Shohei Ohtani got back on the mound and came back from that second Tommy John surgery, the UCL repair, bottom line is he didn't necessarily have all the control that you expect from any of the great pitchers. He'll get there. But he threw 101 miles an hour. And he was out there for an inning, got out of the jam at the end. But anyway, what happens after that? Like, how much relief comes from the actual person who suffered that injury just getting back on the mound, and then also maybe treatment or whatever to kind of keep it going forward?
Well, I mean, one, it's a big psychological thing, right? A lot of things with injuries is getting over the fact that you're going to hurt the area that you hurt again, or that you think that you can't do it anymore. So that's a big thing. I mean, he threw 101 miles an hour. That's phenomenal. So there's two steps, right, to baseball. You got to throw it fast and have control. And then the other thing is you have to have some longevity. You have to go more than one inning. So he did one part for at least one inning, and that's fine. And then now we have to slowly kind of go and get it longer than that. But, I mean, it's a lot of relief. He was able to do that, which is great, because sometimes people don't get their speed back on the pitch. And then I don't know how his control was, but, next thing is check the control, and then you have how long you can do it for, how many innings.
So is the speed an indicator, Gio? Like if you're close to like say you're 90% or 95% of what you were prior, is that the indicator that not only is it healed, but that it will take?
I mean, I think it's many things, right? I mean, you could throw 101 miles an hour, but the ball's going everywhere. Mm-hmm. You don't have control. But if you're just talking about the repair, it healed well. Yeah, I would say 101 miles an hour is a great sign that it's repaired. You're able to put that much stress on the elbow as of now, and as long as you don't have any issues after, and you're able to throw at that speed.
All right, 641-1010. You got a sports injury question, you can throw them our way. We'll try and sneak it in for Gio here. Josh Simmons was a guy that came from Ohio State as a first-round draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we had a Chiefs fan ask. He suffered a torn patellar tendon, and that was whenever they played Oregon in the regular season, October. Anyway, wanting to know what the chief concern,
late September,
what the chief concern is as a Chiefs fan with a guy coming back from a torn patellar tendon.
Yeah. So what was it? We said 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, late September, first week of October.
So the biggest thing with the patellar tendon is getting the strength back in that leg, that quadricep, and being able to fire and getting that explosion back from it, and then the pain. So if you have chronic pain or any issues with that patellar tendon, those are the two biggest worries after patellar tendon injury is that quad. Does it shut down? Are you able to get that strength back that you had before? Remember, the quadricep, it comes in, attaches to your quadricep tendon, and then wraps around kind of your patella and then becomes your patella tendon. So you need the whole extensor mechanism to function, and for that leg, when you fire that quad, for the leg to go into extension, and then you push off of it. So that's the biggest thing with patellar tendons.
All right, Gio, this is the myth buster portion of the program, or conspiracy theory portion of the program, however you want to call it. So DJ Lagway is in a picture circulating on the internet, a recent picture like in the last week. He's standing there with a couple of guys and Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is 6'4.5".
I'm going to shoot it to you, Gio.
255. And DJ Lagway like dwarfs him. And he's
standing with GVO, actually.
He's right. Sorry, JJ. GVO.
That's right. New name for Anthony
Gainesville's own Anthony Richardson. Gio,
Gainesville's own.
He has his barrel chest. His shoulders are huge. You know, someone was telling us he benched 225 36 times. You're not doing that if you have that shoulder injury, are you?
I mean, you're probably not benching that much 36 times. I would assume, you know, but these guys are strong, and they had their muscles that surrounding, you know, like the accessory muscles are also very strong. They can get away, I think, with a lot of things that we probably couldn't because their other muscles are so developed that it can help, you know, make up for something else that's not working right. But they can only do it for so long. And I don't want to say never. I have seen people do crazy things with really bad injuries, but you would assume with a bad shoulder problem that we still don't know what it is yet. I don't think they mentioned it, right? It's always shoulder soreness. You know, if it's shoulder soreness, yeah, why not? Why can't he do it? Now, if it's something more sinister than shoulder soreness and they're not saying it, then it becomes questionable.
That's what we wanted to ask you, the difference between the two terms. Joe, it was shoulder discomfort, and what was the other one? It was shoulder...
General soreness.
General soreness. What's the difference between general soreness and shoulder discomfort, Gio?
I think it's the same. I think they're, you know, you can interchange them, just whatever people use in their vocabulary.
Because usually when you hear discomfort, that's like they're holding them out for a game or two or three. You know what I mean? Right?
Mm. I mean, I don't think so. These are. I mean,
don't take this question seriously, please.
Yeah, they're not medical terms. It's not like, oh, discomfort means this in medicine and whatever the other one was means that. These are just like what we call colloquial terms that we use every day. It's like saying I drove really fast or I was speeding. It's kind of the same, you know. They can be interchangeable.
It's not soreness when I have to tag along with you to the Rolex store. It's general discomfort that you can buy a Rolex and I can't.
All right, toughest question you will have all day. Even tougher than that.
That one was tough.
That was tough. We brought up outhouses earlier today, Gio.
Yeah.
And you're a youngster. Have you ever been anywhere in your travels where there was an outhouse?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have.
And?
Well,
how'd it go?
I mean, I had to use it. I was a kid. I went to some camp. I don't even remember what it was. Some camp somewhere there for 3 days, slept in a tent, and there was an outhouse.
Gio, let me ask you this. As a young Gio, did you immediately think, how does this thing work?
No.
Did I? I don't know if I thought.
How do you guys not think like that? Am I the only guy that thinks like that?
You're a journalist. I just needed to go.
You just know that you go to the bathroom and it goes in the hole in the ground, right?
Yeah. I just needed to go. That was it.
Now I'm starting to think like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. Well, this one dude did text in. This one dude did text in as we say goodbye. He goes, "Ask Gio, what would happen if you fell into an outhouse?"
Oh, that would be disgusting and disastrous.
Just imagine if someone did walk into your office. How did it happen? Fell into an outhouse.
Oh.
You'd immediately,
with my luck, it would be after they did have a surgery and have an open wound.
Oh my gosh! And you got that ExecuGlide chair that you work from. You just push it straight away. All right, Gio. Always good talking to you. Hopefully, we see you next week, my man.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. Dr. George Bari. Bari Orthopedics. Definitely check out locations across Jacksonville where they can help you when it comes to getting back from joint pain, anything. They can definitely help you with it. That's for sure. Bari Orthopedics. All right. We'll keep it rolling until the 4 o'clock hour. Then the Francis show take over. We'll have to ask Frank about outhouses.
Come on. Never.
Never? All right.
Never.
Forget about it.
One of the best kept secrets in the United States. Shh. Let's keep it that way. Jacksonville FLA, home of 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 2.9%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park Street and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your...
Whoa. The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting, impress the big guy with your cool confidence, maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 20th, 1993, the Chicago Bulls became the first team since the Celtics of the 60s to win 3 straight titles after they beat the Phoenix Suns in 6.
Attention North Florida. It's time to elevate your game night. Head to Best Bet, your premier destination for poker. With locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine, we have a seat ready for you. Whether you're a seasoned poker player or just starting out, we have you covered with easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker. And it's not just poker. With delicious food, lively bars, and big screen events, there's something for everyone. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. And ante up for fun.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coating. Pool decks, driveways, garages, patios, we coat them all to make your neighbors jealous.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. But Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser, hydrate between beers, and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, I've got a two-pronged takeaway. Number one is I think I may be the one with the problem because I'm the only one that is curious about this, so it's a little odd. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we brought this up earlier, and I really think this is the guy you should watch out for. Watch out for Fernando Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Played really well at Cal last year. Cal clearly an off-the-radar team. The only reason there was anything remotely likable about them was because they almost beat Miami. He threw for 3,000 yards last year, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's an accurate thrower. He's now going to be in an offense that's really suits what he does. There with Curt Cignetti. Curt Cignetti made Curtis Rourke a really good player last year, and Fernando Mendoza has way more skills than Curtis Rourke. So, yeah, I think watch Indiana. Indiana's not going to go that far away this year. They're going to be very, very similar to last year.
It's funny because we were trying to pick a team that could be in the Big Ten this year's Indiana. And I think we threw Illinois out there as what Brett Bielema has done, got to a 10-win season.
Yeah.
I think you threw Minnesota out there. And the way they catch the schedule is certainly going to help them. But you also think Indiana could be...
Yeah, right back.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, especially with the quarterback that we're talking about, because Mendoza comes with credentials, comes with that big frame. What did we say? Is he 6'5"?
6'5", 228, but there's no way he's 228.
He can't be that.
No chance.
No.
He's like probably 205.
He's a tall lad. I would say 215 on a 6'5" frame makes you look skinny. But
I mean, their schedule is not that difficult again. They get Illinois at home. They're at Iowa, and Iowa's not that good. They're at Oregon, which is a tough one. There's no doubt about that. They got Michigan State home. They're at Penn State. So they're at Oregon and at Penn State. Those are two difficult games. They could easily go 10-2 and get in again.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you think of what just went down with the indecision that just continues to haunt college football.
Right, and here's the thing, too, is, the Big Ten's griping about
and when I say
eight or nine conference games.
Yeah, the indecision is they cannot settle on something that they need to settle on.
They'll settle before the season begins. So they're complaining about the 8 versus 9. Indiana's 3 non-conference games are Old Dominion, Kennesaw State.
They're going to get
and Indiana State.
Then they shouldn't.
At 10-2, they will not get in.
Yeah.
But at 11-1, if they somehow beat Oregon or Penn State, they're getting in.
They might.
No, they're 100% getting in.
Yeah, it just honestly, and look, we bagged the softies on these schedules. They're not alone when they have that schedule. I saved this note because I did hear back from my buddy JD. He of Queens and Long Island. Okay, the king of Queens, and he was talking about Long Island U, that the Florida Gators will play to open their season. They played a year ago against a Power 4 school as well, and I didn't even know this. Did you know this? LIU, Long Island University.
Who did they play?
They played a Power 4 school last year. They played TCU, the Horned Frogs. You know what the final score was?
68-13.
You probably are very close, and I'm trying to do the math. You did nail the math. No, you're very close. 45-0. 45-0. You had 55. So, but very, very close. And so anyway, they got smacked around. But they play in a smaller stadium. You already showed us that with some of the Google search that we had going earlier this week for Long Island U. So any of these teams that start to put together a nice little resume, and I'm hearing you right when you say this, if they have more than one loss, then those non-conference opponents, they're gonna be attacked for those.
Yes.
If they're subpar.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and you could say, hey, it was Indiana State. It's inside the Hoosier State. It's a rivalry. Yada yada yada.
It's still an FCS school.
Yeah, exactly. They don't play every year, do they?
So it's Kennesaw. I don't know if Kennesaw's moved up yet. They might move up this year. I don't think they are. I'd have to look at that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
If you have two FCS schools
on your schedule, period.
Golly.
Yeah.
No, they're up. They're in Conference USA this year. So
Okay.
they're up.
All right.
But this is a team that literally was FCS
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like a Troy or some of the other ones that have moved up and become.
Troy moved up
long
2
time
decades ago. Yeah, 3 decades.
long time ago. Yeah. And so I'm trying to think of who else I would
But like that, yes.
Yeah.
Like a
Liberty-
Jacksonville State?
Like Liberty,
Yeah.
Jacksonville State. Yeah.
Those that moved into the Sun Belt.
Jacksonville State, one of my favorite schools of all time.
Yeah.
Really? Why is that?
They beat some other team on a Hail Mary. It's one of the most embarrassing endings to a
You
game
ordered
I've
a
ever
shirt.
seen.
You ordered
Never
a
going to
jersey.
give that up, are you?
How could I?
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Again, we do know that there are people that we either we are them or we're around them that enjoy other people's misery more than their own success.
That's me.
And
Not
even-
ashamed to say
When
that.
it comes to Florida State, it's definitely JJ.
Yeah, not even saying that JJ doesn't enjoy the successes, but he do love the misery. from the other
We
side.
all do.
Yeah, of
Stop
course
it,
we
guys.
do. I'm not. You're not alone.
Okay,
we're
good.
admitting it. I said you're not just among us. We are all the same. So here's this one guy who texted in. I used an outhouse last week in the Rockies. So he didn't give any more
Sounds
details.
beautiful, actually.
Yeah, he didn't give any more details, but I'm hoping it was a room with a view. Yeah, he didn't give any more details, but I don't know whether it slides down the mountain. I have no idea. The way they dug the hole.
Slides down the mountain?
Gross.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Did you really just say
I
slides
did
down
say
the
that,
mountain?
but I don't know. That's another mystery that we won't be able to solve before our time is up. That's for sure.
What was your takeaway?
I don't remember.
That.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just go back to what you were talking about with the quarterbacks, and I'll put the other one out there because I do think this is critical for Brian Kelly to have that team ready to go.
Oh my gosh, it's monumental for his ability to keep that job.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
At least according to what is being said out there right now, there are crucial recruiting weekends that have been happening and are going to continue to happen,
right?
Basically into July. And Alabama's another good example. Right now, Alabama, if you want to believe any one of the recruiting services, outside of the top 40 as far as 26.
Still early. It's still early.
Very early. But Florida was outside of it for a while, and they're starting to haul a few of them in. Anyway, the way things are being said is that Brian Kelly has lassoed decent transfer portal talent and has good commitments right now to put a good class together.
So LSU is currently 11.
Yeah.
Alabama is currently, whoa.
Yeah, they're down there a bit.
I'm still going here.
Yeah,
Alabama
exactly. I
is
believe it's outside the top 40.
47.
Okay, yeah.
47. Florida has moved up a bit of late.
Yeah, but not.
They're 13 right now.
Okay, but they were outside of the top 40 for a long time.
They were way out. Yeah, it's here's the thing with Brian Kelly. He's also made it a lot. I don't want to say harder. He's continuing to raise the bar.
Mm-hmm.
At the SEC spring meetings in Destin, he said this will be our best team here since I've been here. The most talent we've had. Our best chance to win big. Mm-hmm. So he's raising the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go into the other Death Valley,
right,
and lose that game, man, oh man.
Yeah, they'll be on him, especially if it's one of those late game, and you can call it blunders, you can do whatever to describe it.
Right.
But if you even go back to the FSU game in
two of the three losses he's had have been because just team didn't look like they were ready to play, or team made just unbelievable mistakes.
Right. But remember the first game against FSU?
Yeah, the first FSU game and the USC game.
Yeah.
The other FSU game, they just got bludgeoned.
Yeah. But so anyway, I know they've got a decent amount of talent. They've got to fix the defensive side of the football. There's no doubt that has to happen for them to have a chance to be in the conversation much later than opening week, because a lot of people may just take them right out of the conversation if they don't get it done against Clemson. I wonder what this guy thinks. What side of the Tiger versus Tiger crime will he be on?
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
The embedded and shredded is in the house. Before we ask him about Tiger on Tiger crime, where do you stand with outhouses?
I'm anti
history
outhouses.
Anti?
Yeah,
You're
I
against
prefer
them.
to go inside.
Okay, you're all right. You're an indoors man.
I mean, if I was like in the wild, wild west and you didn't know any better, I'm sure it'd be fine. But like I think back to that scene in Young Guns where Billy the Kid shoots the guy in the outhouse. It's like a bigger outhouse, and I'm like, this had to be the most disgusting thing ever to experience.
Yeah.
And then he's
If
like,
you're gonna go down.
so he kills the guy because he's been deputized.
Yeah.
He kills the guy even though he's just supposed to arrest him. It's a great movie. But then he has to dive out of the outhouse because all the guy that he just killed, all his friends come running out from the bar, and so he has to dive out of the outhouse and he lands in the stream of waste, and it's brutal. So I'm anti-outhouse.
Okay, you're against them.
I'm against it. I mean, unless
Have you ever?
I mean, look, if once they cut the power to the grid and we're all in darkness,
And that's coming, you know that.
then I mean, I'll do whatever I have to do. But I mean, for now, I prefer indoor plumbing, indoor facilities for me, please.
I'm with you 100%.
I have an app, by the way, that tells me the best place to go to the bathroom in this city. Every public bathroom,
I love
it tells me exactly where to go on the app.
Like I have this one thing that I think is one of those.
You guys did. That's the George Costanza. That's what he invented. That was the Curb Your Enthusiasm Seinfeld. Yeah.
I know.
George had made a bunch of money with an app that told you where to use the bathroom anywhere in New York. And then he gets divorced and his wife gets all the money and then he tries to get back with his wife. And Elaine's like, so are you trying to marry her again for your money? And he's like, yes. Anyway. Sorry that I've totally derailed us here, but
no, I wanted you to do it. I figured if I insult you, then you'll just come back. I got to show you this. The more than one role as a supporting.
Oh, he'll love this.
Yeah, and we mentioned it yesterday.
The character
It's like a lot of side characters on Seinfeld who have played multiple
multiple roles on Seinfeld or just
Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Like
I'll send
Jackie
it to you.
Childs played Jackie Childs and like some other guy.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to you right now.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, I'd love to look at it.
So, Tiger on Tiger crime, how bad will it be for one Brian Kelly? If it could be bad for Dabo, but it will really be bad for Brian Kelly.
Really bad for Brian Kelly because he just doesn't have the championships. He doesn't have the resume at that school. And so I think, and I don't think LSU fans have particularly ever really warmed to him anyway. So yeah, if he gets off to a tough start, I mean, it's probably more pressure on Brian Kelly than what we talk about. Because what if he puts up an 8-4? I could totally see LSU firing him.
Yeah.
And we don't ever talk about that.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a lot of money.
I don't think it'll stop LSU though. If they feel like
Big ol'.
it's stagnant and, particularly if there's a guy out there that they feel like they can go get. So anyway, it's just something. Yeah. So it's just something to monitor.
All right, what's coming up?
Pete Prisco will join us at 5 to talk all things Jaguars and NFL. So it should be a fun Frangie show coming up.
All right,
By the
brother
way,
man, thank you.
By the way, Poppy's daughter and O'Brien's handler.
Yes.
Same person.
And she's in Weird Science.
Yeah.
She's the blonde.
Yeah. She's
that
the
Anthony
winner.
Michael Hall is, pursuing.
Yes.
Yeah. So very, very talented actress.
Win, no doubt. Double.
Good call.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Strong resume. Thank you, Hayes. They're coming up next. We are done. Maddie, Josie, JJ. Enjoy your outhouses. And don't forget, some toilets, they're not created equal. You have to flush them.